Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a guide that was highly anticipated by a few of my friends and also, I guess, a big portion of the subscriber base as far as I could read it out of the comments so far. This is about how to grind tanks and how to accelerate the grind. Now, before we go actually talking about it, I have to mention certain things. I will be mostly in the hangar as I will show everything I can tell you. And it shouldn't surprise you that therefore the video takes a while. But it provides you with a lot of information. Also, it might be the case, or it will be for certain, that you know already a lot that I am talking about. But this is a guide for basically everybody, and I try to make examples specifically regarding higher tiers, as there the examples are more obvious or easier to understand, in my opinion. The next thing is, a lot of those tips are not just for tanks but also apply for aircraft, as the mechanics are the same. And also a lot of the tips might come from just from arcade, but they also are usable in realistic or simulator. Um, yeah, also a lot of tips include the reasonable use of golden eagles. And while I think that War Thunder is really a free-to-play game, it shouldn't be surprised that you have sometimes a really big acceleration in terms of grinding when you spend a little bit of money. But in comparison to other games, you really don't have to, but it really helps. So, first of all, the most obvious tip ever, try to win the battle, as it gives you 50% more RP than compared to a loss with the same effort or the same amount of kill caps and whatever. Overall, I also recommend a premium account. It just really helps so much, especially at higher tiers. And also, I have to mention premium vehicles are really useful for the pure grind. But it's not all about premium vehicles, as I will talk a bit in a moment. The next question is also, which premium vehicles are the best for each nation and each tier is a different question. I might have covered some in tank reviews already, but um, the major point I want to give you here is use premium vehicles of the same tier as the vehicle that you're currently researching to avoid RP penalty. For example, if you research a tier 1 or a tier 2 vehicle with a tier 4 premium vehicle, you just simply get a penalty for the XP you've earned. Also, I personally use tanks in arcade in a lineup of same BR tanks. So if the battle requires it that I take, for example, out a AAA vehicle, I need to have the best possible AAA vehicle to shoot down planes, for instance. Then I have certain tips for playing, not just premium tanks but regular tanks. First of all, again, tank reviews that I've already done. But play the tank previous to the tank you are researching, as it gives you a 30% RP bonus. So when you, for example, research the Chieftain and you don't have any premium, you should try to do it with the Centurion Mark 10, because if you manage to get, like, let's say 2000 RP in a battle, you get a 30% bonus to it, which is like 2600 research points bonus for purely where are 600 RPs are just from the bonus, okay? But for your modules for the Centurion, you still get 2000 RP. But you do not have to do it And I think that's the beauty of War Thunder. If the previous tank is not very good, for example, my most beloved example, therefore, are the American medium tanks at rank 5. For example, if you want to go to the M60, I highly recommend not playing the M47 and the M48 if you do not want to throw massive amounts of golden eagles towards those tanks to unlock the heat shells, which make those tanks finally capable of killing stuff. Instead, I would recommend, for example, playing the M103 or the Super Hellcat if you have them, or any other premium vehicle, therefore, because the stock grind is so terrible and so frustrating. It's just not worth it. I unlocked it, and I can tell you it's not worth it. Therefore, I refuse playing really bad tanks such as the T92 or the M48, mostly due to their stock ammunition, and I'm not willing to spend too many golden eagles on a tank. More on that in a bit. Um, yeah, but you also have more bonuses. For example, the Centurion Mark 10. If I play this tank, I will unlock modules. Which modules have to come first to make this tank better is one thing. But once you finish, so to say, a horizontal line of upgrades, so the tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and 4 upgrades, you will get bonus XP. I hopefully show that in the background right now. A few examples, and this is quite a lot, especially at higher tiers. I think one upgrade from the mouse brought me RP boost of 24,000 RPs. That's a lot. That's a lot. You have to play quite a few battles to do it. And so, like the research costs for the Chieftain Mark III are 380,000 research points. That's a lot. But if you manage to do is the effective amount you have to gain is nearly reduced by over 30, nearly 40 to 45%. All right, that's a lot, including upgrading all the vehicles and getting the bonus for playing the previous tank. Then let's talk about the next big topic, and that's about the daily login, talisman, boosters, war bonds, and golden battle wagers. So, first of all, the daily login. To ask for a daily login is not asked too much, in my opinion. All right, it just is logging in. You do not even have to play. For example, if you don't have time within the normal weekdays, so Monday to Friday to play, you can log in and just accumulate certain boosters. But I have to add, those boosters you get from there just last for 3 days. But there are also boosters that are not limited to time. I will talk about this in a moment. So, then golden battle wagers. You can get golden eagles by just playing, and then you can invest those golden eagles in numerous ways. For example, purchasing modules. For example, for tanks, especially at higher tiers, the repair kit is something I always throw golden eagles at. I think at this point, Gaijin has earned a few euros from me. Then you also can invest in crew training, ace qualification. I will talk about this in a bit. Additional tree slots, camos, converting free XP or RP, and talisman, etc. etc. Now about the talisman. If you like a tank a lot and like to grind with it a lot, and it is a tech tree tank, you just can put a talisman on it, and RP wise or RP earning wise, it becomes a premium vehicle. Let's just have a look at the chieftain here. I purchased the talisman. It is the best thing ever. It gains plus 200% RP. It stands here, so you often have like 10,000 RP battles, and such battles reduce the grind time a lot. And as you can see, I actually have, with the exception of the 2 tier 1 and the one Iron Duke at rank 3, no premium vehicles for the British line. So I know how to grind through that. Even the British. A lot of people say that it's impossible to play the British. I disagree. Especially once you reach rank 4, such tanks as the Carnarvon and the Centurion Mark III are just very good tanks. And about the ace qualification. When you have such a tank like the Chieftain, and I showed it previously with the 10.5 centimeter King Tiger, and you go to qualification, you will accumulate a lot of RPs when grinding with this tank. And then you can unlock the ace qualification, which normally costs golden eagles, up to for free after a certain amount of RP. Granted, it's quite a bit, but I did it with a few tanks already, or actually just one so far, but I have a few processed tanks so far. And you get always a reduction of the costs, which should attract to purchase it faster. But this is, you know, some sort of yeah, trick to for you to purchase the ace qualification. Now, I don't see too much of an advantage in the ace qualification, but the Talisman, for each nation I have at least one tank that does have it, and I quite like it. Then the war bonds. The war bonds are a thing that you should not underestimate. A lot of people ignore it. Oops, that's wrong. There it is. And you can earn up to 140 war bonds per day. I think it's limited to 22 hours, so it's also limited to not just 1 month, so 30 times 140, but it's even more. Yes, it's a lot of playing, but the things you can get there are rather interesting. You can get premium vehicles for free, premium tanks and premium planes, but also here once per month one booster for just 60 war bonds, and then you have the most useful, in my opinion, are those battle trophy boosters. And as you can see, this month they range from silver line boosters to RP boosters, from 50% bonus to up to 800% bonus. And those boosters are not limited to time, so you have them as long as you want until you use them. And I will show you that I actually have accumulated quite a few so far. There you can see that they have no timestamp here, and I will use them when ships come out. I guarantee you I will grind through them a lot. A friend of mine also accumulated a lot of them, and he wanted to have the Raketenjagdpanzer II as fast as possible, and he used all his war bonds he accumulated so far and all the boosters he accumulated so far, and managed to grind through the 380,000 RP costs in under 1 day. So that shows you just how much you can earn with those war bonds. So about the playstyle in general, there is, first of all, I did numerous tank reviews where I showed where the tank should be played, but about the general playstyle I didn't mention too much, to be honest. Do as much interactions in the battle as possible, but don't be too bold. There is a quote from Jingles where he said in one of his videos, there are old tankers, there are bold tankers, but there are no old bold tankers. So yeah, fight with common sense. Capping brings RP, killing of course brings the most RP over time. Killing bots not so much. If you have the choice between a bot and a normal player, shoot the normal player, as it is also more dangerous. Also assists will add up over time, and again at the end of the day, if you support your teammates by also tracking the enemy tank, for example, or knocking out his gun, you will win more battles and therefore have more bonuses over time, and it's less frustrating. Teamwork is a really good point. So also, yeah, I guess again, don't be too passive, but don't be too aggressive at the same time. Also, use your machine guns to shoot down planes. While you might not shoot them down, you always can damage them, and you might have a lucky shot. Also, they often crash, all right, or they ram themselves into the ground, especially in arcade where you have those events, and then you get often the kill, which is an easy RP boost for you. You know, why not? Uh, then the next point is always try to win the battle and never give up. But there is a point where it just makes no sense to fight on. Yes, this is highly controversial, and I guess many players say, oh, this is not the way you should fight. This video is about grinding, all right? And so when you see it coming that your team gets you know, ruffle stomped by the enemy, or your team is really bad, you really see it. It, for me personally, it has no sense to fight on for 10 minutes where I can't kill enemies, I will not win, and I just lose my tanks. I just leave the battle after I get destroyed and go into the next battle. This is efficiency over time. I mean, not everybody does have YouTube alive, I guess, where he can spend all day playing tanks. And so also I had to come up with efficiency plans. Yeah, then one final thing to know. As far as I know, you need to have 6 vehicles per tier to go to unlock the next rank. For example, you need to have 6 rank 4 vehicles to get to rank 4, or to unlock the research for rank 4. Now also premium vehicles or reward vehicles therefore count. But overall, for other tech trees, for example the Russians, if you just want to go for one line, for example the medium line and the heavy line, you miss here one vehicle, and you don't want to go for this tank destroyer line or the light tank line. In this case, I recommend to go for the AAA line. AAA vehicles are something very different. They are fun for me. They are, as far as I remember, relatively cheap, and they are, when used right, a big help for your team. You can quite often save your teammates that are in good positions from getting bombed or rocketed by shooting down the attacking aircraft, and that can be a decisive factor in the question if you win or lose. So I think that's it. I hope you learned a little bit. If I missed something, let me know in the comment section, or if you have other tips, let me know. I think thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. If you please like the video if you did, and see you on the battlefield.